Long distance relationship is not for everyone, and I mean it. Take this from someone who started a long distance friendship in 2017, began a long distance relationship in 2019, and got married via Zoom in 2021. Is long distance relationship worth it? The answer is yes and no. Yes, if you know exactly what you want, and long distance relationship would give you that thing that you know that you want. A big no if you're in need because of circumstances or situation, or you see it as an escape route to travel abroad or to escape from your current life in the quest for a better life abroad, in cases where your partners are living abroad. Now, the difference between those two answers I just gave you is the motive. And don't tell me, It is only a matter of time before your motive, your real motive, comes to bear. Long distance relationship is not for everyone, and I mean it. Take this from someone who began a long distance friendship in 2017, graduated to a long distance relationship in 2019, and then graduated to a long distance marriage in 2021. Let me break it down. How did it all start? A friend of mine, we attended the same church together, and she was my pastor's daughter. She introduced me to her friend who lived in Europe. I was living and working in Ghana at the time, and this friend was also living and working in Europe at the time. Before that introduction, let's do a quick flashback. About 2 years to that time, I was in a relationship which I felt was a good one and everything was going to be fine. There were times, as usual in relationship, things are not always rosy, but I still felt, I could manage this relationship, would be fine. And so I kept on. One Thursday evening, the person I was in a relationship with wrote me and said he needed to discuss something very important with me. I was excited, I was excited because prior to that, some moments or weeks to that, or even days to that, he had tested me, asking me how I would feel if he proposed marriage to me. And my response was that there was no way I was going to respond to a proposal via text. So you can just imagine my mind when he said he needed to discuss something very important with me. So I thought it was about proposal or marriage. I was excited and all that. And then the next day, Friday, he called me again and said we needed to talk. And I was like, fine, I just closed from work. The work I was in at the time, I closed very late. So I was like, yeah, we can talk. And he told me straight up on the phone that he was getting married the next day, Saturday. And my response was that, okay, I wish you all the best. And that was how the call ended. I didn't feel terrible or bad that night because I was thinking, maybe it's April Fool, maybe it's just a prank, I didn't really believe it. Until Saturday morning when he called me via video and I actually saw that he was in a room getting dressed to go and get married. And I wished him all the best. And that was how that chapter closed. So back to my friend, my pastor's daughter introducing me to her friend. We always talked about relationship and she felt I wasn't serious about a relationship. So she felt, let me just introduce you to this, my friend. I did not know her intent for introducing me to a friend, but she had this notion because of the way I behaved that I wasn't serious about a relationship. And truly, I wasn't serious about a relationship, especially not a long distance relationship. So it's something I'd never thought about or even imagined, not for 1 second. So the numbers was exchanged. She gave my number to this guy and then this guy's number to me. And that was how we started talking around November 2017. We talked for a while. This person I'd never met, I'd never seen, I don't know from anywhere. And we talked for about 2 years. And then in 2019, he made his intention known that he really cared about me and that he loved me. And I was so excited because, of course, I was already in love. So I was excited and I agreed. He told me we should pray about it and see where God leads us. Wow, in my heart of hearts, I was so excited. Of course, I said I was going to pray about it. I was so excited because I felt, okay, this is it. But it still hadn't dawned on me how that was going to work between us, since it was in Europe and I was in Ghana. But the idea that I'm in love again, and the whole love, thing, I felt so excited and I felt so happy. And so we began to plan getting married in 2020. And it never happened because COVID happened and it took the whole world aback. So no marriage. And then in 2021, we felt we still had to get married. We love each other, even though we hadn't seen each other before, and we needed to get married. So we planned to get married, and that marriage actually happened via Zoom. He was in Europe and I was in Ghana, and we had our traditional marriage via Zoom. All families connected via Zoom, and that was how that marriage happened. And that was how my long distance relationship, or let me say my long distance friendship that extended to a relationship and now a long distance marriage had just happened, just like that, within the span of those years. Now, what kept me going? Since I began the long distance relationship and I accepted his proposal in 2019, I'd made up my mind that this is what I wanted, and I was going to do everything possible to make sure that it worked. Was it easy? Of course it wasn't easy. I'm going to go into all that details later. It was not easy at all. It was tough, but one thing kept me going. I was sure that God was with me. I'm a Christian and I believe in God, and I believe God led me to him. I was sure God was with me. I was sure that God was leading me, and I was certain that it was the one for me. So I made up my mind that I'm going to pursue this, whatever it takes for this relationship to work. I'm going to give it all I can. I didn't know how that was going to pan out. I didn't know how the next day was going to be. I didn't know where all this was going to lead to, or where I am going to be, or how I will even handle any situation that came up. But I had made up my mind that I was going in it, and I was going in it with my totality, and God is on my side, so he was going to help me. So that was the one thing that kept me going. My mindset was prepared and ready to make this work, and that kept me going. What lessons can you take away from my story? Long distance relationship can work for you if that is exactly what you want, and you know that that's true. No one relationship is the same. The fact that mine worked out, you don't even know how my relationship is now, whether it is still working out, or the fact that you've heard stories about long distance relationship that ended brutally, does not mean that long distance relationship cannot work for you. Long distance relationship can make or mar you depending on the individuals or persons in the relationship. Not only was I in a long distance relationship with my partner, but I was also in a long distance relationship with his family. His close families were all scattered abroad, so I hadn't met any of them and only conversed with them via phone. So it wasn't just a long distance thing between me and him, it was between me and him and between his family as well. Was it easy? How have I been coping? How did it all pan out? How is it going currently? All of these I am going to share with you in my next episode. So, having heard my story, are you still caught up for a long distance relationship? Is that what you want? And how can you make it work? You know, there's no way I'm going to leave you without sharing a scripture with you. And so I'm leaving you with my favorite scripture, which can be found in the book of Amos chapter 3, verse 3. And it says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next episode where I go in details about everything that you need to know about long distance relationship. Thank you so much. Till I see you again next week. Do have a fabulous weekend.